This is Rari. There is no mention of the word Rari throughout the song, and that is just me having a thing for songs that don't actually mention the word in the title. What can I say? I do get a good laugh out of stupid things like, hey, they mentioned the name of the TV show in one of the episodes. Crazy. That's funny. I get stupid laughs out of stupid things. Go figure. So, here's Rari.
Bandeauxx.
What's the way? What's the play? How y'all do around here, huh? What's the city, huh? Where you been at? Caught up in the life, I ain't trying to get kidnapped. Top of the game, Hall of Fame, yeah, you been that. Top of the game, and we talk like we in there. Money.
Cool, so just a taste. I don't want to eat too much time playing my own music, but you can download it on Bandcamp, all links below. So, from the top, let's talk about my vocals. That is not entirely me there. I did chop up.
Hey! Hey!
Run it up, get set for life, then I run it up. Trying to live my life when I run it up, run it up.
So, as you can see, chopped up voice, and then there's my chopped up performance. The chops are sometimes a stylistic thing, sometimes it's a for the good of the song thing, because it goes through multiple takes and I've got to do multiple voices or make multiple edits in my songs. While I'm talking about edits, if you look at the top of the screen, it says Coastal Plus Edit. The version that's out is like a V.I.P edit, and what a V.I.P edit generally is, it's got two different definitions. So the one in producer land means variation in production, so you could do like your song with different drums, different vocals, different things. I just went with V.I.P because it made a little more sense reading it than like my remix of myself. And some V.I.P edits are essentially remixes with like whole new production, new verses, and then you keep something of the original so that it ties back to the first version of the song. So this is generally like the V.I.P edit of Rari. V.I.P edit as in I changed up some stuff in the arrangement. I also changed up a few things in the vocals so that the sung parts hit a little bit better for my ear.
Run it up.
So,
Hey!
Know that you like me.
yep.
Step to you slightly.
And I act like I'm new around here. What's the way? What's the play? How y'all do around here, huh? What's the city, huh? Where you been at?
So ad-lib layer, not a big deal. Ad-libs are ad-libs. You just use them to support the main vocal whatever way you know how. That's my main rap verse because I am rapping all over this project and I don't have really any features. Crazy. I know, very bold. I gotta figure out if that's gonna be the way for me moving forward. It is gonna be the way until further notice, but crazy enough, this project was kind of used as a calling card for me to do rap verses on other people's projects. So I've rapped on like a kid's album. I've done guest verses on like homies projects, I suppose, or like singles, things like that. So it worked out. Having a body of work and not like just sitting on your, I guess, laurels is very valuable. Here are the drums. As you can see, these are modified drums. I do my own drum programming. Like I said, I think rhythmically, and for some reason, I never picked up an instrument. But I find that I'm really good at giving stuff, so I just kind of use that. It helps out in my DJ life, helps out in my production life, helps out in like writing songs too, as far as finding the flow see no lyrics. It's all just rhythmic, and then I can fill it out with words later. That is the cool part about making music in the 21st century. So if you're in the year 3025 and somehow this made it to you, this is now considered the ancient methods that they won't tell you about in class.
Ah, yes, the pinwheel. The great pinwheel has stopped me once again.
Okay, we're back to business. All right, here's a... Yep. There go that percussion, just for the vibes. That's why it's got the crazy reverberations and whatnot. And then let's see what we got here. That's like... We've been trying to find a good word to mean the opposite of uplifter and riser, because there's nothing for falls. There's like downfallers sounds stupid. Every term that I've heard for the opposite of uplifter just sounds dumb to my ears, but I haven't cooked up anything better, so what do I know about that specific thing? Shout to 39 Strife. He laced me with a nice little sound kit that I use every so often. Got my little impacts, because impacts are just important to let you know, oh, you're in a whole new section of the song. I'm being really technical about this, but I look at it from a technical standpoint. So there you have it. This is just to pronounce it, that you are in a whole new section of the song. It also helps that if you're working in things like music licensing, that when an editor tries to get your music onto the screen, as in there's your music, and then there's the moving images that make up whatever the scene is. If you have things like impacts and falls, and they can tell exactly what section of the thing, of what section of the visual they're in, you have a better chance of actually making the scene look cooler by default, because now they just know where to chop and edit, and you just made their lives a whole lot easier. So it's something I keep in mind, just because I assume that nobody's ever heard of me or my music before, and I got one shot to make a good impression. So I just try to get all the stuff out of the way. Things like, oh, where does this land? Where would I use this? And I try to just take care of that, so it's no longer an issue, and people can just use my songs and make money rain upon me. What we got here? Basic pan drum loop. These, I assume these are snares, but I really just filtered out everything that makes them snares, and now it's just a cool percussion line. Just make your body move in an unconscious way, like you know it's there, even though you can't hear it.
The world back.
What else we got? Ha! The horns. So as you can see here, this was made in Omnisphere. I no longer have Omnisphere. And we've got horn blast, and we got a guitar line that, yes, I actually played it myself, but I no longer have it. But shout to Omnisphere, they got great sounds in that thing. It's just way too expensive for what I want to do. Here's my old friend Serum. And that's just a basic respace. I love respaces and like wave trap sounds. So again, thinking about DJ ears, I just try to bring in influences that you don't normally find in the kinds of music that I make, and use them for the music that I make. Like this is usually used in like warehouse type genres like UKG, house, deep house, whatever. I'm like, there's no reason I can't make this work in a hip hop sense, because guess what? We're in an open source world. So anything goes, just make sure it sounds good. There's a kalimba. Remember what I said about liking percussion and playing things percussively and writing percussively? This is kind of that. Like I took a one shot of a kalimba, one shot sound, and just made it do something slightly melodic.
Gonna front run.
And then I've got two layers of those. Just pan to the left, pan to the right, just to get that stereo feeling. Contact. We got contact right here. Oh, steel drum. My family's from Trinidad. I'm gonna do a steel drum. Not every time. It doesn't work in every single thing I've ever tried, but when it works, and that's all that matters to me. What else we got? Wow, this is a really deep song. See what I mean by like layering and that kind of thing? Yup. There you go with that bass again. There you go. Let's see. A vinyl sounds just to make it sound a little more aged and timeless. Vibes. You know what I mean? And then Sarah, my old friend. Some bells just because when you do an arpeggiation of it, like it's going up and down, it adds a little more like tension, a little more speed, if you will. So that's Rari. People actually made videos to this on like TikTok and Instagram, and that to me is just, I like that. I prefer it when that happens. There's like thousands and hundreds of thousands of songs being released every day. So the fact that you have ways of just getting people to support it, play the song, and actually make people pay attention, fantastic. Here's the V.I.P edit. So with the V.I.P edit, it took me a while, and I think I was in the Bahamas for like a month just doing DJ stuff. Met up with this Brazilian singer named Amanoka, who really likes Brazilian funk, and I was thinking about like, okay, what's something I could do with playing favorites to just get it at those tempos, which is like 130 BPM. How do I play my music that high? Because originally Coastal Plus everything was under 110. I was getting booked not only in the Bahamas, but like places like Austin to play higher tempos and more like electronic dance music. And in order to fill that, hey, how do I throw more of my music in there? Enter V.I.P edits. So I made a V.I.P edit for playing favorites, which worked out pretty well, I'd say. Like, people dance to it.
Round and round, man, it just don't stop. Gotta play the game, gotta keep a rotation. Wanna love them all, I can never play favorites. Hotline blinging off, name keep ringing off. New day, neighbors need they sleep, turn the singing on. Sing it on. In the dance hall again, hit my line, call, bounce back, don't call again. Jason lace me with the line up, y'all I sign up, she know the vibes, tell her wind up. Living like my time's up, y'all I sign up, they know the vibes, tell them line up. Bop, 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 bop. Round and round, man, it just don't stop. Gotta play the game, gotta keep a rotation. Wanna love them all, I can never play favorites. Whoop!
Right. So the revisit worked out really well. I decided to just go with the Brazilian funk angle or something like it. I'm never too sure if I completely nailed the vibe or if I just kind of got somewhere close, but I just knew that it has to sound enough like that in order for me to mix it into other songs in the DJ set that are around the same tempo, around the same like general sound. So, in the name of keeping it easy breezy, because I don't like spending a whole lot of time on remixes and edits and things like that. Like, it keeps my production sharp, but also I got other things to do. And this literally has to be like a 5-minute idea. No dawdling, because I could be making original songs with that. But because this is my original song, just reinterpreted, I felt like, okay, I can give it an extra 7 minutes rather than 5. So, what are we working with here? Bop, 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 bop. So, I went from 80 something BPM to about 130, as you can see over here. So that's like time stretching all my vocals. I did not want to write new verses for this. It was not that serious. Something did get new verses. We'll get to that in a bit. So what are we working with? Yep. Bye.
Gotta play the.
All right, nothing going on in the MIDI, surprisingly here. Yeah, just one stomp. Just one stomp. Like, rewriting the drums, I didn't want to get too into the drum work in that just because I just did not want to. So, this little funny sound right over here. I said something about you use impacts and things like that to introduce new sections and just set it off. But you're not necessarily confined to just using cymbal crashes or whatever it is. Like, you use white noise. All you have to do is make sure that it has the intended effect of getting somebody's attention. So this is white noise, if I recall correctly. It's a reversed impact. Oh, nice one, me. Yeah, so use a reverse impact. It sounded like white noise enough so that I didn't have to really do too much else. Let's see. Sped up percussion loop once again. Yep. Chopped up vocals just to keep that height going. Let's see. Yeah, like I didn't change too much out of this. I just altered the drum pattern, slowed down my vocals, just something really quick, really easy, and now I can be booked in Brazil for this one thing. I will also say I am always working on new music, so I did come back and made another song which sounds absolutely crazy, and I've not written verses to it yet, but that is incoming. That's just more like a baile funk flavor layer. It's not really a bass so much. I think it's like a percussion something, and then I just pitched it so it sounds kind of like a bass layer. And then here is... Yeah, so sometimes it goes in time, out of time, keeps it interesting, almost like you would if you were playing things live. Because humans aren't like on beat like that. So that's the playing favorites edit. One thing I can tell you is when you're streaming, don't have all the plugins on. Even when you're loading new files, turn things off. This is not worth it. This is so not worth it. People don't have time for that. All right, so let's play this V.I.P edit, and we'll talk about everything that's different between one version, like the original version, and then the V.I.P edit.
I'm the man with the master plan. I'm the man, LP, gotta see out in Amsterdam. I'm the man doing hand to hand, moving land to land. You want test, we go band to band. Money on my mind like the flood, feeling relaxed, recline like the plug. Booming out the house in the streets like the club. Had to treat the house in the streets like the club. Y'all thought I was done, I'm correcting your notion. Get me animated when I'm stopping your motion. Get me activated when I'm taking all your lives. Leave the game alone, get back on the prize. Come on, man. Can I order those? No sweatshop. This strip come with foreign clothes. Looter, shooter, life is but a game. Got it off computers. Words to my name. Yeah. 20 different ways, 20 different plugs, 20 different plays. I got 20 of them things. I got 20 of them things. Babies, Bennies, bunnies, Benjis. I like that one. This is tempting. I got 20 of them things. I got 20 of them things. Loafers, gotta wash the rugs, coordinated with the sofa. Got it on demand, concierge and a chauffeur. Girl heartthrob, got my picture on your poster. See where it goes, so I'm not trying to ghost you. That's rude, man with a golden gun, I'm that dude. Ichiba #1, not 2. Worldwide, Addis Ababa to Cancun.
Cool, so let's talk about these drums first of all. And actually, yeah, let's talk about these drums and my verse. So, if you can tell, I came in with like a whole new intro verse wise, just with the I'm chopped it up, just chopped it up like old Young Money style where they used to have like the stutter hooks and the chopped in hooks. Cause
I'm the man with the master plan. I'm the man Mal P. Gotta see out in Amsterdam.
So that verse was actually written and recorded in the Bahamas. I had to like, I was sharing a house with a dude who they just had us like sharing a house with people because they were still building out their island in the Bahamas where we would have to like where I'd be doing the DJ sets every day. So I had to deal with like him yelling at his girl or whatever and just trying to like do good rap music. I would say I pulled it off. I'm just sort of pushing the agenda of, hey, you don't really need full-blown studios in order to like get your ideas and get your whole music career going. You can do this on little to no budget. It's all possible. It just sounds better with a budget most of the time. Now on the flip side, some people take that budget thing too far and try to throw money at basically what's a skill issue. Like if your music don't sound good, you need to go back and work on the music. You don't need to throw more money at it unless you're getting different players and mutating the song to the point where it's basically like yours in name only. Anyway, that's a me thing. So my usual vocal nonsense. I use a de-esser. I use a doubler because the doubler takes up room and like focuses my vocal. And I'm trying to get more into doing like gang vocals. Just sounding like there's a million people in the room funneled into one. Just doing some like Imagine Dragons type things. A JVB thing, if you will. Let's talk about my drums. So the cool thing about Ableton Live that more people should be talking about is automation. So there, you see this pink line. It's basically just automating a filter, kind of like DJ style, where you like filter out basses, you filter out high frequency things like very sharp noises, like whistles, just high pitched things, alarms, what have you. I use a completely different drum set for this, but I kept the MIDI just because I like that, and the MIDI just happened to play really well with what we got going on over here. Kept this kick loop just because it was fly, I liked it, and added, it just adds vibes. I keep saying vibes like that's a easily transmittable concept, but sometimes you just feel it before you hear it kind of thing. Like I just liked how it sounded, I liked how it felt, so I went with it. Synths. So, in terms of musical arrangements, there's this concept called call and response. And I suppose it rewards you for throwing different elements of a song, like different sounds, in different ways so that you can like set something up and then respond to it basically. So even if you have like long piano lines, for instance, that don't seem to be going anywhere, you could do like 3 seconds of piano and then on the other end is like a violin or a guitar or somebody screaming. Doesn't really matter. Just as long as you're making heat, nothing else is important. So here I think I threw some MIDI into Simpler, which is one of Ableton's sampling devices. We also got Serum, which is frozen right here. Let's see what we got. Yep. Just doing that sci-fi X-Files nonsense again. Little beeps and bloops. And if you notice, call and response really works because here you go with... Let's just play the whole thing. Let's see. Okay, so... There it is. So there's your call, there's a response, and then we're right back to it. My bass. Yep, the 808 is back. The 808 is always there. And then I got Contact to just handle the impressive string part. So there is something to be said for digging up and buying old Contact libraries so you can get like specific string parts, specific things that they don't really make anymore. It's just really handy to have. So Contact, put it into audio rather than MIDI so I could save my room. Let's see what we got going on up in here. And I believe it's just another vibe layer, which is... Yep. Just a chopped vocal vowel sample because the human ear responds really well to vocals and vowels and things like that. So when you're singing, vowel sounds are pretty much the only thing you want to keep like clear and audible and what people want to hear. Good old Chow Tape, which I think is a free plugin and just adds that like lo-fi, like is it a sample from a record I know or is it not? For the record, I don't sample records that people know. That's crazy and expensive, so I don't do it as a practice. What I generally do is just play stuff into things like Contact and Serum and then just chop my little life away. If I find some free audio, I use that too. Record a lot. It's the life of a recording artist who is also a self-produced act and DJ and songwriter and whatnot. Onward to, the Name and Lights V.I.P edit. Very fun. Very, very fun. So, let's see. Which of these are you actually? So, Name and Lights V.I.P edit. The backstory on that is that on my very first EP, which is titled True to Form, there was a song called Name and Lights and was like kind of reggaeton, kind of EDM. I felt like the hook was good enough for me to just give it a different kind of vibe, more or less. So what I did was redo the instrumentation, got more vocal chops, just made it sound darker, but still danceable, which is something I really like. I like dark dance music, but I don't really hear it at the tempos that I pick. Like this is at 108 BPM. I don't really hear dark stuff at that tempo.
Bandeauxx.
Pull up on me, girl, pull up on me, girl. My stock going up, can't get comfortable. Yo, Trinidad, time to carnival. Play the win like I kick for Arsenal. Patience, so I take my time. I say it's better and physical. She wanna hit cause I'm whimsical.
You should come spend the night. Might see your name in lights. You should come spend the night. Might see your name in lights. You should come spend the night. You should come spend the night. You should come spend the night. Might see your name in lights.
Alright, let's talk about... So my whole first thing is completely blanked out and I can't recall why I did that, but I'll show you the harmonic ad-lib section because that is very interesting to me.
Yeah, yeah.
That's me.
Yeah, yeah.
Once again.
Yeah, yeah.
Go me. Go,
Yeah, yeah.
go me. Go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So harmonic ad-libs because I did just want to try my hand at melodic vocals a few times, and that happens a couple times during Coastal Plus just for like proof of concept. Maybe some people would feel more secure within themselves if they called up a professional vocalist. I did not have that advantage, and nobody was coming to the crib I was living in at the time just to do vocals, so I took it upon myself. It's a nice exercise. It's like occasionally I was actually hitting the notes, getting my little Frank Ocean on. For those that listen to Frank. Let's talk about rapping.
Pull up on me, girl, pull up on me, girl. My stock going up, can't get comfortable.
So I had mentioned earlier about recording in different places and just having a mobile setup that you can catch anything. The one downfall with mobile setups is that, yeah, you're working in different rooms, and different rooms are going to give you different vocal qualities, which is why people spend so much money on mic booths and things like that, so you can sound consistent throughout the whole thing. I work in a little more haphazard action adventure way, so I have different vocals from different times spliced in there, and they sometimes it works, sometimes I'm not sure if it doesn't work, but I will say sometimes it works out really well. But you have to have the technical knowledge to like beef it up, make it sound pro quality, that kind of thing. And when it comes down to just re-recording, mixing, and doing all the more technical aspects of music recording, it's really nice that you can at least you can fix it later. You can fix it later. Most artists agree with me in the sense of the most important part of it is just getting the ideas down. You can make it sound sexy and gussy it up and throw the bag at it later, but just capturing those initial ideas and making sure you got something like workable, that's what's always important. So let's see what we got up in here. Got my little white noise effects for vibes. Contact, oh chub, how have you been? That chop comes from Exhale, and Exhale is a Contact library. I think it's from Output. You've heard Contact, you've heard Exhale on at least one mega huge unmissable record, which was like Mi Gente by J Balvin. So in case anything I'm saying is like news to you, no, trust me, everything I'm talking about is pretty much endorsed by professionals, and at the end of the day, again, just make heat. Who cares how you make it? Like other producers and songwriters might get really provincial about it, but I would just say just do your thing and make sure that your taste and your quality control is up at all times.
You should come spend the night, might see your name in lights.
So funny enough,
you should come spend the night, might see your name in lights.
That's me on the auto-tune with my share effect on. Yes, yes, yes.
You should come spend the night.
It's weird because when I listen to these vocals by themselves, it still sounds crazy warbly, but in the context of the song, other elements kind of help balance it out to make it sound a little more palatable? Not palatable, but yeah, let's go with palatable. Let's talk about my vocoder chops. So that is sidechained to a brick wall, which is also sidechained to a gas truck out of Mad Max. Kickstart, doing a lot of that work, just ducking out those other sounds and just being used as a rhythmic effect rather than like a product of good engineering. Drums! I've used this drum kit on a few edits, but it was more like lo-fi edits. So lo-fi music rewards not having a whole lot of high end, but just mostly bottom end and mid end. So you feel it more than you hear it. How well that works out for non-lo-fi songs or anything else really just depends on the listener. But I like it. Got other loops and such, Spire. So funny thing about the Spire patch, the first remix that I ever did as Bandeauxx, and my first like release, what does it say, was for Paper Water, a duo who I'm really proud to know, and watching them ascend and blow up and do things like Coachella and all kinds of worldwide tours and activations has been really cool to see, because we're all from Miami and they are not signing people from Miami like that. So just to say, this Spire patch, I used the very first time I used this was on a remix for them called Caught Up. So it was Paper Water, Voila Snow, and then I just flipped it into like a trap kind of thing because it was the trap era. That was that. That's why I made it sound like that. Do I like using trap sounds? Yes. Do I like making trap music? Not really my thing. Well, we know what I like. I like electronic influence hip hop stuff. None crazy. Let's talk about this 808 real quick. So, shout to Frank Flux. He made this 808 and gave me the kit for it in like the early Bandeauxx days when I was like just now figuring out how to use Ableton Live and really starting to like take self-production seriously again, because I had made beats when I was younger, but you know, that's when I was younger. As soon as I hit college, I was like, yeah, so I'm just gonna stick to DJing and I'm not gonna touch any of that because I couldn't figure out Logic. I couldn't figure out Logic at the time and I just didn't want to. There goes the sub bass, which I'm making it do the thing with smacking it with all kinds of plugins. Jeez. Don't be like me. Just you can cook something decently, but don't overcook it. Like I feel like all this just kind of overcooks the sound because I'm trying to make it like be everything at once. And that might work for some people. I gotta say, I don't know that it works for me in retrospect. I don't know. Choose your own adventure. Report back. Let me know what you find. Next up. In the meantime, let's talk about this V.I.P edit for Pop It because I had another song called like Right to Left that was literally just me doing some pitched up vocals over like a Jersey club type rhythm and beat. And when I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking about, how else can I flip my songs into something else? I basically referenced myself and just wanted to have another crack at it. Just like, okay, what's this song work like in a place where they like tempo, but they don't necessarily want to hear Pop It with like the regular like trap drums. So in order to answer my own question,
Yeah, hold on.
Bounce.
Yeah, hold on.
Bandeauxx.
Pop it, till I'm tired of counting. Water, drowning, dripping like a fountain. All in, trying to get to me. They all dead to me, they all dead to me. Pop it, till I'm tired of counting. Water, drowning, dripping like a fountain. Drop it, heard you wanna drop in. I'm the one that's falling. Where have you been? Hey, devilish grin, body for sin. Yeah, hold up.
and if that wasn't enough, rap section, very, very different.
Lifestyle, lights out, tripped out, priced out, don't get hostile. Hold up. Big paper in these pockets,
Not jeans. Big paper in these pockets.
all me. Turn a pack, lead it to a pack. Wolf of all streets, full attack. Good time, long time, as I add to my wealth. Cash in, cash out, double feature my stroke.
Cool. That's the new Pop It. I chopped up some ad libs to give us that.
Drop.
Yup.
Drop. Bounce. Drop.
You know, just to add to that Jersey club vibe, but done through a different kind of lens. You know what I mean? So yeah, wrote new drums over it. What else did I change up in here? New chords. Alright, so cheat code time, because you're probably wondering what all this on the bottom here is. if you can see it. I don't know that you can see it, but I'll try to get as close as we can. All right, so what we're looking at is Sting, which is a Max for Live plugin created by the great Ifta of, I think he was part of this group called Skinnerbox, and he's like solo now. So what I did was run the Sting app, and what Sting is basically, it's intended to be a baseline generator. However, if you're into messing with things a little bit, it can be so much more. So what I did was I took Sting. Ableton Live comes in with its own scale programs for people who use outboard equipment like Push. So you can use Push to just hit the notes that you would normally hit on a piano or something like that. So the flow goes Sting as a generator, minor pentatonic to just be in key basically, and then run through another arpeggiator, which is giving it that vibe. And then after that, run that into Serum. Yeah, run that into Serum. And then run Serum into Halftime. Very insider knowledge, but don't let that get you down. This is very simple once you start grasping the concepts of everything that I'm doing and you want to go plug-in shopping a little bit. Nothing crazy. So there's that. Chops. So I gotta say, the way I chopped it was really inspired by Daft Punk in a very, very strange way. Here we go with Sting. Yup. Cool. So the chops are run through halftime. Halftime is run through vocal synth to give us a more little robotic effect. Let's talk about my bass, and then we're off to the next song. So, as you can tell, this is a very simple bass, and I'm pretty sure what I did was just take a MIDI pattern and then just chop out everything that wasn't necessary, so just muting everything. Let's see what else we got up here. Yep, that's it. I just used a bunch of Sting generated stuff because, again, I don't like to think about V.I.P edits and like go super in depth with them because it would probably suit me best to use all the energy that I'm putting into a remix or an edit into actual original music. This right here is just MIDI. I don't think there's anything behind this. Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, this is just where I put all the dead MIDI that I didn't use. So that's the Pop It V.I.P edit. We're going in. We're like more than halfway there. Again, if you're seeing this online, you can pause it at any time. It's gonna be there. If you with it, oh man, if you with it, or as I like to put it, my Timbaland impression. And I'm not just talking about beatboxing and whatnot, but just like what I'm using in the instruments. As soon as the project loads, I will tell you everything you want to know. Well, most of everything you want to know. Got to keep some things under my hat.
If I want it, I'ma get it. Let me know if you with it. Let me know if you with it. Bounce. If I want it, I'ma get it. Let me know if you with it. Let me know if you with it. Hey. I've been working overseas. I've been heading in the freeze. From the islands to the streets, I can give you what you need. I can give you what you need. Two-player mode, I'm playing.
So that's the If You With It VIP edit. I, once again, was in that situation of, I can't just have one song that I play at those tempos. I need a whole other, like, if I get away from, say, Brazilian funk for a second, what else can I play in that tempo range between, like, 120, 130 that can just fit in with everything else going on in the club context, and then enter Miami bass. Shout out to Ballads too, because his edit work kind of threw me in that direction, and I was like using a lot of his edits then. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm just going to treat myself like a sample and see what I can do. So my vocals, once again, like the Playing Favorites VIP edit, I just time stretched it, made it work within the confines. Wasn't overly rappy. And this is a good thing for me personally, because if I have to perform these things out loud, the studio version doesn't always match up with the live version. The live version, I have to account for like breath control and things like that, whereas in the studio, I have infinite times to just do the vocal as precise as I want to. So it sounds great as far as like recorded audio, but as far as me doing it out loud, now I'm running into different kinds of limitations, which means I have to get creative with it. So talking about my chorus real quick. So this is another instance of me using two different drum patterns. Drum MIDI, I should say. So I think I slightly rewrote the original If You With It MIDI to just fit these switch out sounds. So there's that. I got some MIDI from another song, which we have not gotten to yet for a specific reason, but we'll get there, and I'll tell you everything once we're there. So all together. So those are the drums. Nothing too out of this world on that one. Let me see. The perks. Everything came from If You With It. I did add some new instrumentation because I've been trying to keep my instrumentation a little more sparse. Yeah, it's just fun. It's supposed to be like a fun thing. So what's more fun than bubbles? Also, for the record, this is one of those instances where I use the, not an arpeggiator, but just as far as the MIDI programming, I just went in with the randomizer. I threw something in simpler and just took what it gave me. So, different kind of sampling. Sped up bass line, yup. For my effects, nothing too sexy. Yeah, like it's a reverse cymbal. Nothing big. Just gets you to the next section. Let me see what I got up in here. Yeah, okay. So the process for this specific synth was throw a randomizer or riffer or one of those MIDI player tools into Serum and then keep it on key. Cool. I took whatever the randomizer gave me, chopped it, edited it, boom, there I have a lead melody, which is so from the time that I'm saying all this, there's like a very strong like no automation, no nothing kind of factor, and I'm just like, no, I make music in a 21st century kind of way. Haven't gotten quite to the whole AI generated samples thing, even though I know of at least one person who made like a mega hit record with it. And I say mega hit record in the sense of like, oh, this went crazy, it went viral, like Drake and Sexy Red actually jumped on it. You know, things be happening all the time, man. I can't even keep track of it. I think this MIDI was also that same serum patch. I just had different sections for like the choruses versus the verse parts. So as you can tell, this is a little more subtle, as opposed to this part where it's like, oh yeah, I'm definitely meant to be heard. I'm meant to be in your face. This second serum, it's meant to be more of like a layer. And then here come the vocalist effects stabs. The cool thing about this is, okay, so the concept of the V.I.P edit is like go Miami bass with it. Miami bass is like a 1980s genre, so they have a lot of little things that they do in Miami bass that can be for sure updated. So, oh, great. The second I'm about to make a good point here, you decide to freeze. There we go. All right, so Ableton built-in instruments and built-in packs because they love their users so much. Yeah, just doing vocal stabs because it's like that's a thing you do in Miami bass, and it's like related to 80s freestyle music, so that's kind of where my head was at when I threw these in. Also, orchestral. Also Ableton, not a sample, just straight up using the most basic pack imaginable. And there you have it. That's the If You With It remix.
If I want it, I'ma get it. Let me know if you with it. Let me know if you with it. Bounce. If I want it, I'ma get it. Let me know if you with it. Let me know if you with it.
And that's the If You With It VIP edit. Next up, Paradise. Run it!
Make a vibe when you inside, yeah. Plotted 3 moves since you replied, yeah. Might gotta move to the left, move to the west, cause it's dead on the east side, yeah. Good things take time, yeah, you know. Life too short to go with flow. Life too short to talk to lames. Life too short to play small games. Waited a whole year to be out. Leave 7 figures on readouts. Never quit mission, just reroute. Minutes to Mars, I'm like 3 out. Yeah. Sometimes I get carried away. Can't wait. No time for the play. Trouble paradise, glancing at the light. Everything you need, that's my kind of life. Trouble paradise, find utopia. Secrets stay with me. Keep that close to you. Move with me, don't.
Alright, so that's Paradise. Let's check out my vocal chain because I'm doing a lot more singing on this song, and I'm surprised that it's as well received as it is. So, yep, there it is. You see it?
Trouble paradise, glancing at the lights.
Harmony.
Everything you need,
Right?
that's my kind of life. Trouble paradise,
Yes.
find utopia.
As a family.
Secrets stay with me.
Right?
Keep that close to you.
So, as you see, Auto Pitch is doing a lot of work. Melodyne is coming in with the notes that I couldn't functionally hit naturally, so that was a nice little assist. Let's talk about the rap. There's nothing, I don't really do a whole lot of my rap vocals outside of like creative effects, which is really liberating, and I do that most of the time anyway. What can I say? I'm a rapper. It takes a little bit less prep time for me to like go in with a rap verse than it does with singing, but for the sake of let's just see what I got, singing I went with. What is it? So
Make a vibe when you inside, yeah. Plotted 3 moves since you replied, yeah. Might gotta move to the left, move to the west, cause it's dead on the east side, yeah.
no huge concept, just more of like a vibe. I try not to keep the songs too stuck on concepts, just cause it's like music you're just meant to move you to, not really like sit and ponder with. These beats are not pondering beats. Yeah, there he goes. That reggaeton drums again. Super easy kit, like 3 instruments, snares, the usual. I have a tabla because, once again, I'm going to keep saying this, Coastal Plus International Club Music, which means we are sampling from the world and what it gives. So, here's my tabla. Here's the channel strip, running through Kickstart for the vibes. Glue compressor because I was really into compression back then. Like I said, very old school method. Let's see. Little vocal choppity chop 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 and a chop chop. Let's talk about these. Those are just hi-hats, so nothing crazy there. So, more call and response music. And then, yeah, and then here's some Ceramic. No, Contact Bank. I think the Contact Bank was just a regular Contact Bank, and then I threw in the arpeggiator or something to make it do that. Let's talk about synthesizers for a second, because I am doing a lot of synth work. Yep. Just a little reverse Blade Runner type instrument made in Diva, apparently. Wee. The first time I've used Diva. Nope, Serum by itself. Yep. Futuristic dystopia on Smidash. And then, of course, how else was this gonna go? Yeah. Yes. So, there goes the wild 808s once again. Not too much to say about this once it came together. I think the hook was like something I had and I was just shooting ideas until something came together. There it is. As far as melodies, again, use the power of technology to get what I want. Tale as old as time. And that being said, I'm not really out of time, but we are on the last of the songs. Congrats. We've made it. We've made it through the whole walkthrough. That is the wrong one. Where are you at? Where you at? I know you're in here somewhere. So this song, another one of my better received ones. Also, this was a lot happened. A lot happened with this song. Because originally it was just a beat, and I wrote the vocals to what we now know as 20 to this beat coming up. I scrapped that version, and 20 went on to become what it was, and the V.I.P version and whatnot. But originally, I just played this beat at a showcase and just let it rock. But yeah, originally 20 was written to this, and I think I only got like a version of the hook for 20. which did not make the final cut. Again, you live, you learn, you rewrite. It's kind of good that I held off on publishing a lot of stuff just because it's not really good the first time. Like, nobody really knows if their music's gonna be good or not. It's just a matter of like, have you worked on it enough to show it off to other people? My thing anyway. I just don't want any of this stuff to just be on a hard drive and never leave the hard drive. Like, that's not the kind of thing I'm doing here. This is music as art, as craft, as personal practice, as public practice, as business. What can I say? I have expensive tastes. So that's generally like all of Coastal Plus. Here we go. You know, trying to find out the final lyrics for everything was like a jigsaw puzzle. And, you know, songs start one way, they go a completely other way. Learned a whole bunch of new techniques, learned a bunch of software and stuff, which I carried forward into the future or the present. And, you know, it's just like all this music that I've been playing is just the answer to the question, what does the all Bandeauxx DJ set sound like? So if I'm just playing only my music, where are we going with it? What are we doing? And I think I've answered that question in part, but there's always more questions behind that and more tempos, more sounds to do. So that said, my name is Bandeauxx. I have been your DJ, producer, artist, host this evening. Hope you got something from this. I'm on every social network at Bandeauxx. If you found your way through YouTube, click the link. Definitely like and subscribe because I've definitely put my whole self into this, and I usually don't talk this long if it's not like a lecture or something like that. So happy to fill out any other questions either through the social networks or on the comments. But with that said, I will catch you on the next one.